In this video, we are going to create this rotating navigation, and we'll be using the template that we created last day, and we'll be continuing that series. And this is taken from the Travesty Media's 50 projects in 50 days course, and we'll be trying that out today. So let's just get into the video. So let's get started with the project. First, we'll be importing a library from Font Awesome. So to do that, we'll go to CDN.js and we'll search Font Awesome, and we'll copy the link snippet from here, and we'll paste it in the head tag, and we'll change the title from my project to rotating navigation, and we'll remove this h tag as well, and we'll save that. We'll close this Font Awesome CDN.js browser window, and only our HTML file will be open here. So for those who are just joining, this is we are using live server to run this snippet. So every time I save here, it will be reflected on the browser. So to do that, to do the HTML and CSS, first we will be needing a container, and in that container, to have the circle in the top left corner, we'll have a circle container, and within the circle container we'll have a circle, and within the circle we'll have two buttons, one with the ID of close that has an icon. Icon is from Font Awesome, and it will be for close it will be times icon. And similarly, we want a button for open, so we'll have a button with the ID of open, and in here there will be an icon of bars, or so FA/bars, and when we save that, you can see the two icons here. So outside the circle container, but still within the main container, we'll add the content for the site. So we'll create a div with a class of content, and in here we'll write an h1 tag, amazing blog post, and we'll create a small tag with my name, and we'll create a p tag for the paragraph, and we'll do a lorem 100, and we'll save that. So now we can see the content is here. We'll just copy this whole thing one more time, so that there is some more content to work with. So that's done. Now we'll create the nav bar. So to do that, outside the main container, we'll create an HTML5 nav tag, and in the nav tag we'll create an unordered list, and within that we'll create some list items, and in each list item there is an icon. So the icon has a FA bar home for home icon, and we will type home here, and we want two more items in the list. So basically for contact and about. So for about, we'll do user all, and we'll do about, and for contact we'll do an envelope icon. We'll save that. So you can see the list is here. So how this thing works is that when the open or close button is clicked, we want the whole thing to rotate. So it rotates when we add a class to this container, a showNav class. So that's how the whole thing rotates. So we'll first write the JavaScript to rotate this class. So how we can do that is we'll go to the JavaScript file and get all the items from the HTML DOM. So const open button. So to get that, we'll do document dot get element by ID, and we'll do open. So this will target the open button, and to get the close button, we'll just target it by close ID. And to get the container, what we'll do is we'll do const container document dot query selector, and we'll select the class of container. So the dot represents the class, and we want to add the showNav class when open or closed is clicked. So when open is clicked, we want to add the class, and when closed is clicked, we want to remove the class. So what we'll do is we'll do open dot add event and we'll listen to click action, and when this happens, we want a function to be called, and that function basically does only one thing. We want to add class of showNav to container. So container dot class list dot add the name showNav. We'll copy the whole thing and paste it again, and we'll change that to close as well. And we want, when the close is clicked, we want to remove the showNav, and we'll save that. So if we take the console and see, so this is the container. When we click this, the showNav is added. When we click close, the showNav is removed. So that's working. So now all that remains is the CSS that needs to be written. So let's begin with that. So first, we don't want this font. We want to do another font. So we'll remove the CSS2 and we'll do a font of Lato, and we'll add that to the font family. We don't want the flex in here, so we'll remove that as well. We want overflow hidden, but only in the X direction. We want the scroll to be active in Y direction, so we'll do overflow X hidden. Now what we want to do is we want to add a background color to the body itself. So we'll do dark gray, save that, and we'll set the color to 222. So at present it's looking different, and this is not we want it to be, but we'll change that in a bit. So in the container, what we'll do is we'll set the color to background color to something light, something like FA. So now everything is white, for the container, and we want the container to have a specific height. So we'll do a height of 100 viewport height at least. So it's not always 100. We want the minimum height to be 100 VH. And we want the container to take the 100% of the viewport width. So we'll do that as well. We would like to have the container to have a padding of 50 pixel all around, so that it looks a little bit better. So when the container has the showNav class, showNav class, we want the container to rotate. So we'll do a transform rotate of 20 degree. Save that. So when we click here, you can see it's rotated, but that's not the right direction we want to rotate. So we'll do a minus 20 degree. So it's rotated from the center. So we don't want to rotate from the center. We want to rotate it from the top left corner. So we'll add a transform origin, and we'll do a top left. So now the container is rotating from the top left, but you can see the it's not a smooth transition. So we'll add a transition property as well. So we'll add a transition to the transform property. We'll give it a 0.5 seconds linear action, and we'll save that. Now when we do that, there is a smooth transition there. So that's done. So now let's work on the circle. So we want the circle to be fixed here. So we'll take the circle container. We'll do a position of fixed, and we'll give it a value of top minus 100 pixel and left minus 100 pixel. So now the icons have been disappeared. So now what we want to do is we want to give it the color we want. So we take the circle, and not the circle container, just the circle, and we'll give it a background color of FF7979. Save that. It's not showing here now, but we'll add a height and a width property. So we'll add a height of 200 pixel, and we'll give it a width of 200 pixel, not 2000, 200. We just rescale it here. 200 pixel, not Windows, width of 200 pixels. Now you can see the square there. So there we also want, we don't want it to be a square, we want it to be a circle, kind of like a quarter circle. So we'll do a border radius of 50%. Now it's kind of like a circle. we want to position the icons inside absolute within the circle, so we'll give it a position of relative, and we'll just save that. Now let's work on the position of the icons or the buttons. So we'll do a circle of button, so we'll do it a position of absolute, and we want it on top 50% and left 50%. Now the icons are there. We want it to have a height of 100 pixel. Okay. We don't want that color for the background of the button, so we will do the background transparent. Save that. Now we can see that there is a border to the button, so we do the border 0 and the border is removed. We want to increase the size of the icon, so we'll do font size of 26 pixel. Now it's a little more bigger, and we want the color of the icons to be white, so we'll do color of FFF white. So now the button has been styled. Also, if I click here, there is a focus state to it, so we'll remove that. At the same time, I want the cursor to have a particular value, so we will put the cursor to pointer, and in order to remove the focus state outline, we'll do circle button focus, and we'll do outline of 0, and now the outline is not there. So now let's position the icons where we want it to be. So what we'll do is we'll first position the open button, so we'll do circle button with the ID of open. We want it to be left 60%. Say that, and we want the circle. So now if I click exit, it will go back. So we want the circle with the ID of close. We want it to have a top value of 60%. And we want that icon to rotate, so we'll do a transform rotate 90 degree, and we want the transform origin to be top left. So these things are relative to the circle, this circle div. So everything here will be relative to that, since these buttons are absolute. So we'll save that. Now the icon has been disappeared. When we click here, we want the circle to rotate as well. So what we'll do is when the container has the show nav class, we want the circle, to rotate. So transform rotate minus 70 degree. Save that. Okay, that's because I did not put dot circle here. Circle is a class. So now you can see the circle is being rotated. But since there is no transition here, it's going abrupt, so we'll add a transition to the transform property, and we'll do a 0.5 seconds just like the last one, and we'll do a linear transition. So now there is a proper transition happening. So now what's left is positioning this nav bar. So let's just go down here, and what we'll do is we'll select the nav here, and we want its position to be fixed, and we want it fixed bottom 40 pixel and left 0 pixel. So if I do that, open it, it's there, and if I close that, it's also there. So we'll change that. So how you want it to look here is, first we will take the unordered list here, and we'll remove the list type, so that there is no bullet points there, and there we'll also add a padding left of 30 pixel. Okay, so now let's target the list item within the unordered list. So in there we want the text to have an uppercase, so text transform uppercase. We want the color to be white, so we'll do FFF. So now it's white. We want a margin, we want it to have a margin, so we'll do a margin of 40 pixel and top and bottom, and 0 pixel left and right. So we'll save that. So when the button is closed, we want it to come from the x-axis. So what we'll do is, when the button is closed, we normally would want it to be here in the outside the screen. So what we'll do is we'll do a transform property here, translate x, and we'll put it and give it a value of -100%. So now it's outside the screen, and we want it to have a transition as well when it comes in. So we'll give a transition on the transform property. We'll give it a 0.4 seconds, and we want it to ease in, or just ease. We'll save that. Let's just comment that for a moment, and let's just make this more stylized. So we'll target the icons here, ULLII, and in here we'll increase the font size of the icon to 20 pixel, and we'll add a margin right of 10 pixel. So now the icon is bigger now. Also we want the line items to be at an angle that is similar to this. So what we'll do is we'll target each of them and do a margin left. So what we'll do is we'll do nav ul li plus li, and we'll do a margin left of 15 pixel. So what it does is it targets every li item which is after the first li and adds a margin left of 15 pixel. So in order to do that for this li as well, we'll just copy paste it once, and we'll add another li here, and we'll do a margin of 30 pixel. So now it's at an angle, and we can see that. So if I uncomment now the translate X and save that, you can see that it's sticking out a bit. So what we'll do is we'll copy this translate X as well, and we'll put that here, and we'll increase the value for these items. So when we save that, now when it's closed there is no icon here, and when it's active we want when the show nav is here, we want the nav bar to move into here. So let's do that now. So how we can do that is, when the container has show nav class, we want the immediate nav and its li to transform and translate X to 0. So now, translate X to 0 means everything is brought back to how it was. So now when you open it, it just moves back. But the animation takes place instantly, so we want to add a transition delay. So you do a transition delay of 0.4 seconds. So if we now open it, the animation takes place after 0.4 seconds. So now we can just do some simple styling to the blog post as well to make it look a little bit better. So we can do a max width of 1000 pixel, and we can add a margin of margin 0 auto, so that it's in center all the time. So it's in center all the time. We'll just target the small tag. We'll do font style italic, and we'll give it a color of 222, and we'll do content h1, and we'll remove the margin bottom. So let's close, and we'll add some styling to the paragraph as well. We'll increase the font size. We'll do a color of somewhat like that, and we'll just add a line height as well. So line height of 1.5. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you liked it, do let me know, and the code to this is in the description. Do check that out, and thank you for watching.